Oh, good morning, fabulous, amazing, awesome, badass humans on this very glorious here spring day. Really excited to see you today, really excited to chat with you all today and do all of the fun and amazing things, of course, because why not? It is the week for expansion. It is the week for, I think we should be all declaring this week the week of badassery. I don't know. What about you? Do you think? I think that. What I wanted to talk with you about today is something that's really interesting, and it's something that has played out over and over and over and over and over and over again for me, and over and over and over and over and over and over again for my clients. And that is this concept of deciding. Now, I think what I want to talk to you about is a little bit about what has happened for me over the past few years, particularly, and obviously pre that. So for those of you who are not familiar to me, hi, I'm Nicola. Really lovely to meet you. I don't know why I do that weird voice. I do it in the morning as well. When we're walking past people, I'm like, morning. I don't know why. It's really, really weird. So that's not what I wanted to talk about to you today. I wanted to let you know that over the last 10 years, or more than 10 years now, I've been going and building this business. And there have been times where it has been really, really amazing and the finances haven't been doing what they should be doing. There's been times where the finances are doing amazingly and everything is fantastic. There have been times when the finances have been doing amazingly and I feel like things have not been fantastic. And there have been times when the revenue is not down and I've been really happy. And obviously when the revenue's been down and I have not been happy. So there's been the whole gamut for me and over the years of really getting to experience kind of every phase of business. Having a really awesome, massive global business with big team has been fabulous and fun. Wasn't very profitable, but that's a whole other live stream. And I guess for me, at each sort of stage in the journey, and I talk a little bit about this in the book, Into the Spotlight, there's a thing that I call the genius loop, where we kind of work through things and then we hit a different stage, and it requires us to really assess and decide what it is that we really ultimately want. Now, the thing that I really want when everything is boiled down to brass tacks, and I have these days sometimes, not very often these days, but I've had days in the past where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, so what am I going to do? Or if I had $10 million in the bank, what would I be doing? And the decision always comes back down to helping people. I just want to help people. I want to help you guys get what it is that you want. And I know that marketing and putting yourself out there and being visible and being in the spotlight and all of that is key to making all of that happen for those of you who are entrepreneurs. And the key obviously also is about really making sure that you're standing out from the crowd and everything else like that. Hello, Evie. But I think the thing that happens is that, and some of you will probably resonate with this, because I know that some of you that watch this, you've been in business for a while, you've had some really awesome wins, and then you've had some times where you've had to really consider and or reconsider what it is that you're doing and what it is that you really, really want. And I think for me, everything changes and everything has changed and everything kind of falls into place when I let go of all of the shoulds. You know, when I let go of, well, I should be doing $3 million a year by now. I was reading an email over the weekend of not even a colleague, actually not even an acquaintance, but somebody else in the industry who's just done an amazing launch. And I'm like, that is so freaking awesome. You know, congratulations, it's bloody brilliant. You know, that stuff really lights me up. It also makes me go, wow. You know, how and where have I been playing it perhaps a little bit safe? And maybe this is something that you guys can relate to as well. It's like, how have I really been playing it safe? And until you've really acknowledged that kind of thing, then nothing really changes. Yeah? So I declared and for me, it's always about these big declarations, big lines in the sand, like really deep lines in the sand, like what my forehead's doing at the moment. And it's like these deep lines in the sand that are like, right, this is it. I am not doing this anymore. I am only going to be doing this. This is the thing that's going to work. And, come hell or high water, like I'm going to find a way to be able to make this work. Or it's like, you know what, I'm fucking done. And that thing goes off to the side. So for me, I've had probably over the last 10 years, there've probably been maybe half a dozen times where I've really had to dig in and really decide what it is that I want. And when I dig around, because it's not always obvious, I know that might sound silly, but it's not always obvious. So for me, it's around really kind of digging around and working out what is it that I want, what do I not want, and what am I tolerating, what should I not be tolerating, what is it, what am I afraid of? And I think the big thing here is this. Until you really decide to jump in with both feet, to go, okay, you know what, I'm just going to back myself to the full limit and everything will be okay and we're just going to see what happens, then you're still playing it safe, right? And the magic comes from really throwing yourself all in and giving something a red hot go. So one of the things that I think that you can do today in order to really not only hit your goals towards the end of this year, but really to make sure that you are hitting your stride in terms of online momentum, in terms of marketing yourself, standing out, putting yourself out there, getting, cutting through the noise, standing out from the crowd, really showing up and being seen as the badass rock star that you totally are and you totally deserve to be seen in that way. There are some things that you need to do. So the first thing I think that you need to do is actually commit to at least, and I've put 30 days. I didn't put in anything. I put 30 days in the comments. And what I've said in here is commit 30 days to relentlessly being committed to what it is that you say that you want. So, hey, Chrissy, good morning. So what this might look like is that if you are saying that you really want to be visible, then what are you going to do each and every day for the next 30 days to really show a demonstration of your commitment? So it's one thing to commit, right? But it's quite another to actually get out there and take action on it. And I know so many people are so afraid of putting themselves out there. I ran a free one-day event on Friday, and man, that was fun. Hey, Maggie, how are you? It was so much fun, and that we're doing it again actually later on next week, I think. I can't remember. I think it's next week. And one of the things that I really got people to, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. One of the things that I got people to dig into, hey Chris, good morning, was around what is it that you're really afraid of? And the things that came up, and this was common across the majority of participants. It was the fear of being seen, the fear of looking like an idiot, imposter syndrome, so feeling like everybody else knows more than me and why is anyone going to listen to me? I know I worried about that back in 2010. It's like, there's a ton of people out there. Why is anybody going to listen to little old Nicola who lives in a tiny country town in the middle of freaking nowhere? Who's even going to listen to me? Why is this even something that's even, necessary for me to do? And I couldn't ignore the call. So I had to obviously keep going. So we've got imposter syndrome. Then we had the worry around not knowing what to say or not knowing what to talk about, and having your it's almost like on a Word document, and the cursor, that old time, word processors don't tend to do this anymore, but the old word processors would have the flashing icon waiting for you to start typing, and it's like these authors that are sitting there with writer's block going like, I don't know what to write, and they get to the end of the day and they've got 2 words on there. So I actually think that is a very real fear. Not knowing what to say, how to say it, when to say it, all of that kind of thing can be a problem for a lot of people. But here's the thing. It's just a problem that you've made up in your head, right? It's something that you've decided that's true. And what I know is that if you and I were having a conversation together and you were telling me about your business and you were telling me about all of the amazing results that you can get, if you're talking about the clients that you've worked with and the amazing results that they've been able to achieve, if we were jamming on that, there is no way you would run out of things to say. It's just our perception of how we have to be because now we're going online and now we have to market, right? So all of a sudden, shit, I better be serious. I better be proper. I better make sure I'm adding value. And we try really hard to add value. And then we try really hard to do all the things. And then we try really hard to make sure that we're giving all of the information. And then we try really hard to come up with all of the things. And then all of this trying ends up building like this kind of like forceful, it's like a forceful, contrived kind of like presence when that's not necessary. We don't want that. We don't need that. And in fact, what happens is when we come out and we're trying to force our way into people's vision and we're trying to force our way into their newsfeed and we're trying to talk noisier and louder than the next person, then all we end up doing is contributing to the noise. So it's actually better for you to go, all right, I don't want to be a noise contributor, right? Nobody wants to be a noise contributor. What we want to do is find a way to be able to really get out what it is that we need to get out. And it takes practice. I know that for me, when I started doing videos in 2010. I published my first YouTube video, I think, in 2011, and I think it's pretty hideous. I've heard reports that it's not that bad. I disagree. But I was so worried back then about making sure I had all of the words. I was worried about the content being really on point. I was worried about being professional. I was worried about being of service. I was worried about not giving too much away. I was worried about giving too much away. I was worried about making it not being clear, and really we look at the contrast now from where I was 9 or 10 years ago starting to do video to where I am now. Shit, I can have a camera and I can talk for days. It's something that I find really easy because I built that muscle and I made that commitment and I made that decision to suck really badly at the start, and I just committed to getting better. And I think that's really the thing for all of you to remember is that if you're wanting to really kind of like amp up what you're doing, you're probably not going to be, well, I can guarantee you are not going to perform today the way that you will in 6 months, in 12 months, 18 months, 2 years' time. And it's a really unfair expectation of yourself to think that if you're going to go and try something brand new and if you're going to try and amp up your online activity and you've never really done it before, you've only dabbled and now you're like, okay, I'm deciding this is it. I am all in. It's going to be sensational and amazing. And then you turn the camera on, it doesn't quite work how you want, or your words don't flow. That's okay. You've got time, right? We haven't got infinite time because number one, we're not going to be here for freaking forever, but also the marketplace is getting noisier and noisier. I heard a stat. There was a friend of mine that I interviewed for the Into the Spotlight interviews, actually, Jody, and she shared in her interview that in terms of e-commerce and online activity, we are 2 years ahead of where we were expected to be because of COVID and everything else. So the beautiful opportunity that you have right now is that there are more and more people looking for help online. There are more and more people seeking help in the way that you help people. I can guarantee you, because there are more and more users on social media platforms. There are more people turning to social media for inspiration, motivation, hanging out with like-minded people. They're trying to hang out with people who they think are sane and on their wavelength, who share their concepts and share their ideas and share their values and share their motivations. They're looking for people who inspire them. They are looking for people to aspire to be like. They are looking for people that they can learn from. There are so many opportunities right now. If you really, spent the next 30 days just really kind of going like, all right, I'm just going to go and I'm going to go and create something that would be really fun and fabulous. And I'm just going to try and see what happens without any set of expectations. And just because it's an experiment rather than I have to make money from this, I can almost guarantee you that you will get better results than what you would by following a tried and true launch strategy. Not that that doesn't work, right? But the second we try and formalize it, in my opinion, the second we try and formalize it, the second we try and go, all right, well, I want to do, all of these big names, big mentor coaches and stuff are doing 5-figure launches, 6-figure launches, 7-figure launches, all of this. Yeah, that's awesome. But most of the people that are doing that have got really big lists, big communities, big affiliate deals, and yada, 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 all the rest of it. Yeah. So if you just go, all right, for the next 30 days, I'm going to try and capitalize on the fact that there are more people online ever before today happening right now. That there are more people spending more money online today, right now. That the information business, which is basically what we're talking about, you monetizing your knowledge, you monetizing your skill set, your thoughts, writing a book, anything like that, there is no better time than right now for you to be able to do that. And I know with 30 days of solid focus, you could absolutely do something. The second thing that you want to have a look at is at the end of the 30 days, did you like it? Did you enjoy that focus? So your commitment for the next month might be that you do a live stream every day. Even if it's into a private group that you're a part of, you might decide and commit, hey, Linda, to doing a video every day in your phone. So it might not even go public, just while you're building that muscle of, learning how to talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles. Not that you need to do that. I'm just kidding. So commit and decide. And then you've got to do it. And then at the end of that month, how did you feel about it? What did you learn? What were your insights? What did you get out of it? What did your audience get out of it? And if it's only going into your phone, that's great. What did you learn about yourself while you were doing it? What did you learn about your people? What did you learn about your processing? Did you realize that, this is where I've found for me, it's really, I love it how I get these like, oh my God, exactly. Like I'm really good at creating different ways of explaining things in different frameworks while I'm talking, while I'm delivering. So this happened actually on Friday. I was delivering something. I'm like, oh my gosh, in my head, I'm like, right, I need to draw something to make this actually work. And then I'm drawing it and then showing them and they're like, oh yeah, now it makes sense. And that is something that I've learned over the years that I can do very, very easily. And to me, it's just kind of second nature. Before having had that run at doing all of these and delivering live and things like that, I would never have known that about myself. So we just don't know what you're going to discover about you, your own unique abilities and your own zones of genius until you're kind of thrown in the mix where it's like, all right, every day for 30 days, this is what I'm going to do. And then at the end of that 30 days, it's like, all right, well, what's next? Now, some key things. Yeah, some key things that will help in business, regardless of whether you're brand new to being online, whether you're already visible and you're wanting to kick it up a level, whatever it is. Here are some things that you need to know. So decide one thing for the next month that you are going to, this is just to reiterate, decide for the next month how you're going to commit to really showing up in a different / bigger way for the rest of this month. All right, give some people some hope, something resourceful that they can focus on and look at. Some rules around this to make it really work for you is number one, to be consistent. So for the next 30 days, if you say that I'm going to go and be live 3 days a week, then you need to be live 3 days a week. If you're going to post 5 times a day, every day, then you need to go and post 5 times a day, every day. Really make sure that you are being consistent in meeting your goal. The other thing that I would actually do is make sure you write it down. Something that I do to just as an example. So I'm in another 8-week bootcamp program, vegan, building muscle, very, very happy, feeling really strong today, which is really good. And I make sure that I print off the thing so that I've got the things printed off, the schedule printed off for each week for 8 weeks. so that I can actually mark through it. Because if it's not right there in front of me, with me all the time while I'm doing it, I don't generally follow through. So just in that first bit, the thing that you're going to commit to, have a way of keeping yourself on track and documenting what you're doing. So the rules, be consistent. Number 2, make sure that you're being on message. Now, what is your message is what you'll need to know first and foremost. Now, as you all know, my whole message about everything that I'm doing is about being visible, stepping into the spotlight, and freaking owning it, being a badass, just really owning it, standing out, being out there, and being you. All of that is designed so that you can create freedom in your world by using online marketing to be able to help people in a really big way, whichever way that you want. So absolutely everything that I do all relates to being visible and being in the spotlight so that you can grow a business that creates freedom for you. That's everything that I do in a nutshell, right? You can go and look at any blog that I wrote, any live stream that I put out there, everything all relates to that. So for you, what is it for you? Is it about everything tying up in a beautiful wellness bow? Is it tying up in movement, making sure that you're moving your body? Is it about mental health? Is it about being sovereign? Is it about self-empowerment? Whatever it might be, doesn't matter. What is the message? So that you need to know what your message is so that you can make sure that you're on message, because that's going to be relevant to your audience. And that's the point number 3, which is how does this all relate to your audience? So the way that I look at this 30 days for you, this suggestion that I'm giving you guys today is that, all right, so if you're going out there and you know that you're gonna, it almost feels like you're gonna throw yourself off a cliff. You're gonna start doing more lives, you're gonna start posting, you're going to start being visible. You're actually going to use social media for business, right? So we're putting our business hat on, we're taking off our mum hat, our friend hat, our daughter, whatever hat, father hat, anything like that, brother hat, and we're putting on our business hat. And if you're putting your business hat on for social media, then that always gives rise, most of the time, that gives rise to some fears of not being enough, not being good enough, not knowing enough, being caught out or called out by your peers, worrying about being relevant. Is it long enough? Is it short enough? Am I standing out? Is it even worth it? All of that stuff. I can promise you that all of that stuff will dissipate and disappear when you actually start doing the work and you're making it relevant for your audience, because you're not worrying about you and your own set of fears and your own set of self-judgments or your perceived judgments of what everybody else is going to think. So it's really about just going, all right, I'm just going to show up for them and make it fun. And that's, everything else kind of falls into place from there. Now, of course, if you want more help with this, we have got the Visible Live event happening on the 25th and the 26th of September. The link is in the comments. For those of you who are listening along on the audio, it is www.nicolamoras.com.au/rockstar, because why would we not want to have that word in there? Because I think you're a rock star and the world needs to see you as one. So 25th and 26th of September, what we're doing in that event is we're unpacking all of your thinking. So this is what I do brilliantly, if I do say so myself. If I can just toot my own trumpet for a moment, which I don't very often do, I don't think. Maybe I do. I don't think I do. Anyway, the thing that I really love doing is putting my fingers inside your brains, pulling out all of these ideas, and then being able to map it into a really awesome, powerful, fun, and result-producing framework that really sets you out from the crowd. And that will give you a good 12 to 18 months worth of content, intellectual property, frameworks for workshops, frameworks for events, frameworks for books, frameworks for absolutely anything that you could use, that you could be using your thoughts around. That is what you're going to walk away from on that weekend. I am so excited. It's going to be amazing. So that is that. If you want to join in with that, let me know. If you have any questions about it, also let me know. Otherwise, let me know what you're committing to for the next 30 days. What are you going to chase down relentlessly for the rest of this month and a little bit into the next, so that you can really turn this 2020 ship around? I think that's what a lot of people are telling me. So All you need to do, it's quite simple really, is get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it, and remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. Have an amazing day, everybody. And if I don't see you before, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.